Welcome back to FedBiz Exchange. I'm Michelle Brown, your coach and your mentor. In this video, I want to talk to you about understanding the differences between manufacturers, distributors, and suppliers. Whether you are in the DLA program and you're beginning to sell products to the federal government, or even if you're using SAM to find products that you would like to sell to the government, you need to understand the differences. It's about the relationship that you either have already established or that you're trying to establish. Sometimes it's difficult for you to get in the door. Sometimes you need to pay attention to what the structure is, or you need to do a little bit more digging to find out how you should position yourself. Most importantly, you need to understand how these three entities affect your products when you're selling them or when you're planning to sell them, and you need to understand how it affects your pricing. So let's get into it. So here we have it. First, we begin with the manufacturer. The manufacturer is the original maker of the product. If you're in my course and you are working with DLA, you know that the approved source, not always, but it should be the maker of the product. Of course, in DLA, those of you that are in my program, you know that we have to do a little bit of research to make sure that the manufacturer and their approved source are the same. In SAM, when you find products that you want to sell to the government, it's not as strict. You could actually present other products that are name brand or alternate products in a lot of the SAM product bids or solicitations, I should say. So the key for you to remember and to keep things separated in your mind and to understand who you're dealing with would be to understand who the manufacturer is and how they do business. So the next line would be the distributor. How does the distributor fit in? Well, the distributor usually works with the manufacturer to get products and to resell those products either to suppliers or contractors like us. Now, the distributors are usually set up by the manufacturer, and you could have, as a manufacturer, maybe 10 different distributors that cover specific areas. You just need to make sure that you know the difference between the manufacturer and the distributor. If there is a distributor, you need to look them up to make sure that they're not competing against you. You don't really want to work with a distributor or a manufacturer that sells directly to the government because they may be competing with you directly. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can go to their competitor that may not be a distributor, or maybe that competitor has a direct relationship with the manufacturer. So if you're in the DLA course, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you may still be a little bit confused about the differences. You need to know who you're dealing with. Then we have the retailer. The retailer gets their supplies. They often buy from the distributor. Now, the profitability relationship between these three, it could be anything, because the distributor needs to make money, the manufacturer needs to make money. So if we go back up just a little bit with the manufacturer, then you need to understand that the manufacturer is going to sell the product to the distributor. They're not just going to give it to them. They're going to have a deal with them. And I have some of these deals, not many, because I just would prefer to develop my own manufacturers in a subcontracting way. That's a different story. But some of you that know my story, you know I did that. I just made some of my manufacturers the subcontractor, and I was the prime. I had them make the product, and then I was the prime. So that's a little bit of a different situation. But in this case, which is what you're dealing with 99% of the time, because a lot of you are not ready to make your own products, but the manufacturer is going to bring in distributors that want to not just make money, but that are serious about making sure that their product gets out into the regions. That could be in the United States, it could be all over the world. Okay, so the distributor is going to get the product from the manufacturer because they're promoting the product, they're selling the product, they're out there doing all of the sales work for the manufacturer. So they're going to mark it up. They're going to mark it up when they sell to the next line, which is the retailer, the supplier. So the retailer, supplier often buys product from distributors. Some of you may realize that when you call the manufacturer, they send you somewhere else. That's because they don't do their own selling. They have a distribution sales network. And those distributors are all over the country, maybe even all over the world. The retailer is simply buying products from distributors, different distributors for different products, for different manufacturers. So you need to know the difference, and you need to ask when you're working with these people. Are you a distributor? Are you the original manufacturer? Or do you carry just lots of different products as a retailer? If you go to their website, usually you can tell. If you go to a retailer's website, even a distributor's website, you can see all of the different manufacturers that they represent. So why is this important? Because you want to know how to talk to these people, but you want to vet them first. You want to look them up in usaspending.gov. You don't want to just call people. When you call these companies, you alert them that you're interested in doing what they may be doing. So do your homework first. Then you have, lastly, those resellers. Those resellers are people that just buy stuff. They seem similar than the retailers, but they're different. Some of you, if you're in the DLA program, you've asked me about these NSN info websites. Should you buy from them? There's nothing wrong with buying from them when you first start out, but you need to be careful because they may or may not have the product once you win your contract, or your contract, I should say. The same thing with products on the SAM side. But the difference with products on the SAM.gov side is that the agency may allow you to use an alternate product. Not that DLA won't, but you have to do a little bit more work in a different way on the DLA side. But just be careful. If you're in any of my courses, and even on this channel, I talk to you about the questions you should ask manufacturers, distributors, or suppliers first before you settle on using them to get the contract and then to deliver on the contract. So just be careful.